Good morning today, 12th August 2024. We are going to discuss editorials of The Hindu. First, we'll be discussing a quote by Abraham Lincoln. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Suppose say you want to become IFS officer, Indian Foreign Services. For that, you need to predict your future, right? For predicting this future, you need to create it. How you can create? You need to put a lot of efforts. You need to put hard work. You should have the strategy. You should have, like right orientation. Selflessly, whether you are getting results or not, whether you are, getting outcomes or not, you should every day strive hard to focus your goals, focus on one thing, keep working hard, then you will achieve it. So that's what the intention of the goal is. This is very famous quote, you can use anywhere. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln. First article here, it discusses about the judicial clarity between recently Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal have been put up in jail, and then there is a judicial scrutiny is happening again upon like how they have money laundered, what are all the things they have been faced. So this article will discuss from author's point of view what judicial clarity required in this party's case where Arvind Kejriwal belongs to our party, and then there are serious crimes have been continued. So what is impact on this democracy and all? So this will discuss in detail. Recent observations from different benches of the Supreme Court. What are the two recent observations? Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. So resolves like in-depth analysis. First observation, it is headed by Justice Sanjeev Khanna. Judge asked the government lawyer, whether it is a case under a PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, it involving leaders of Aam Aadmi Party, and then is party two is not involved. Whether party is involved, party two not involved. This discussion came. What is the role of political party basically? Can it be measured? Can we accuse a political party? Let us suppose that there are several political parties are there. Bharatiya Janata Party, Telugu Desam Party, even Biju Janata Dal. If someone from the party is carrying out some attack, whether we can blame entire party. That's what these things need analysis. These questions were prompted from the bench, even enforcement directorate to make AAP party to accused, even in Mr. Kejriwal case. It is first time any political party is being made as accused under Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Whenever we see Prevention of Money Laundering Act, what is Prevention of Money Laundering Act? Money laundering happens because suppose they will bring money from safe havens and they make it through proper channel. So black money they will make in the form of white money. This is called money laundering basically. So this money laundering, we have seen several cases in India where money laundering happens against the person but not against like party. So this is the first time. In ours is a parliamentary democracy system where political parties play a huge role in mobilizing people on the basis of the ideologies, political programs, and they run the government, making serious crimes in front with like they give serious problems also. India is a democratic country, and India has chosen a parliamentary form of government from the British because we were colony of the British. So we will see. We don't need to go about politics. That's what others says. We have to go it academically, and we haven't. We should not be in favor of any of political party or anyone. So we'll analyze like relevant legal provisions. Newspaper reports show that like investigation agency invoked see section 70 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act to rope this op party for Prevention of Money Laundering Act. This section 70 of Prevention of Money Laundering Act, this deals with offenses by companies, basically firms. The gist is if the person committing any contravention of the provisions of the act is a company, then every person who was in charge of the company shall be deemed to be guilty under the act and shall be proceeded against and punished accordingly. Let us suppose say one company, right? Google, right? From Google, one person, they have brought money from outside. Let us say, don't take Google, some like you take another examples also, but Google is good integrative firm in some areas. So suppose say some of the like director, they bring money from some politician, they will convert it into black money, so that person will be punished, right? They deals with companies, not with the political party. Section 70, this section also there is an explanation, like company means any body corporate included as a firm or other association as an individual, right? Where does the political party come under this definition? We were telling they have put our party into this. Where is the political party? They have discussed about the form under Section 70 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Then investigation agency told the definition of political parties from Representation of People Act 1951. They brought this Representation of People Act under Section 70 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. In Representation of the People Act, Section 29A defines a political party as any association or body of individual citizen of India calling itself a political party. This is the definition of Section 29. So, Section 29, they have called political party any association. They have confirmed this association with the form. Association or individual citizen of India becomes political party when itself calls as a political party, right? So all association of individuals cannot be treated as political parties unless they call themselves as a political party. These associations, right? There are several trade unions are there. That is also an association. But we cannot call trade unions as well. Like AICTU is there, All India Congress Trade Union, right? Or Central Industrial Trade Union, CITU. BMS, Bharati Mazdoor Sangh, these are all associations. They cannot call themselves as a political party unless they will declare themselves as a political party. But explanation to Section 70 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, this covers only association of individuals, not associations that calls political parties. Hence, there is an obvious distinction between these two definitions. The conclusion is that Section 70 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act does not cover political parties basically. So, whatever the definition those enforcement directorate has included up as a political party, this is not validated. This is not even legally permissible to bring political party within the definition of this clause. And further, the author states. Other association of individuals like any body corporate includes firm, these things, these are different interpretation that are planned by different things. Political party is not the nature of body or corporative form. We may try to understand in this context of definition, there is a generation of black money through certain illegal transaction and then laundering of it, right? That is how the money laundering happens. Political parties are not basically transactional bodies. Transactional body means political party, they will receive the money and then they will give to poor. This is not the way it is. Transaction is happening between the political parties, a political party and people. So political parties is their job is to basically mobilize the people, fight the election, run a government, run a schemes, and then right, bring the justice to people. Running business, legal or otherwise, it domain is not domain of the political parties. Several times we have discussed, government is to do the governance or not to do the business. Government has no control over the business. Government should not do the business. It is matter of common knowledge. Most political parties run their affairs with money donated by individual or corporate. Even electoral bond scheme we have discussed. So they get the fund and then they will spend during the political campaigns. Hence, this law permits, but does not concern itself why such donations are made. Law requires political parties to make declaration to Election Commission of India, right, under Section 29C of the Representation of People Act, how much money they have received. If political party does not comply with this Section 29C, then it will not basically income tax relief. They will not get. They have to pay a lot of income taxes also. It should be noted here, entire donation received by any political party is exempted from the income tax, right? This is exempted from income tax. We can very well see law is mindful of the role played by political parties in our democratic system. Therefore, law is considerate to these political parties also. It is difficult to understand the observations learned by bench about bringing political parties within the purview of PMLA. See, basically what author is telling is they have put political party up instead of, see, Arvind Kejriwal they might have put because of he might be corrupt, I'm not saying, but they have bring up now, justice has bring up now. What author is saying is if you want to bring up into Prevention of Money Laundering Act as per Section 70, But Section 70 deals with firms and companies. But you are directly bringing a political party into Section 70. It is not good actually, one way. And second thing, how you have quoted Section 70, right? Section 20 of the Representation of People Act 1951. So from this you have quoted, and then here some body or forms associations are there. So you cannot compare association with political parties basically. Suppose say we have discussed several unions are there, they themselves call associations. They might be, like they cannot declare themselves as a political party. So AAP declared as a political party, and then see there is a backdoor channel is happening here. So you included associations to party, and then party equal to form, then this form equal to Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Again, if you go to further extent where political parties do corruption through money laundering, suppose say through electoral bonding. Electoral bond scheme also that is legal, right? They can get money from anywhere, and then that is clearly taken under the income tax act, income taxes rules also. That means author is telling justice need to consider these things while making decisions during this party decision making. The next thing, second observation is about best justice, bench of justice Bihar Gawai and justice KV Vishwanathan on bail petition to Mr. Sisodia, right? Bench asked the lawyer, the enforcement director, where do you draw the line between policy and criminality, right? Basically, who will place the policy? What is a policy in a democratic form of government? Basically, we follow British form of parliamentary form of government. Government will be run by, suppose say, in state chief minister and then council of minister. Few member run the government. They will take the major decisions. That is called cabinet. Even center also prime minister plus council of minister. But decision will be taken by cabinet only. So this cabinet will take policy decisions. This is the highest decision making body, right? Headed by prime minister, center, and then chief minister of the state. Cabinet of the union or state, they have the exclusive and final authority to frame the policy on that any matter. But Ivor Jennings, in the Constitution, he said, in substance, Constitution, in the substance, the cabinet is a directing body of the national policy. That means they, whether the policy is good or bad, they are the final authority in making the policy decisions. In case if it is a bad policy, it may be disapproved by the parliament or assembly, as the case may be in the state and central government respectively. Ultimately, cabinet is accountable for the people. They are elected by the people. They can punish the government and the party which runs if policy is harmful to them, right? But under no circumstances this judiciary examine the correctness of otherwise like a motive of the policy made by the cabinet. Cabinet motive, this cannot be discussed. Supreme Court several times told this view. No criminality can be attributed to cabinet for a policy made by it. Suppose say today one government is there, they might have made some policy. Next time another government will come, because people doesn't like this government. They have chosen another government, so they will make another policy. For that, criminal cases cannot be instigated towards the person because of this policy decisions. Criminal charge against individual minister for decision taken by cabinet is legally unsustainable, is unheard in the history of the cabinet form of government. Anywhere you go across the world, this is the thing. So the judiciary must clarify now, right? Minister become public servant. He is capable of individual actions if it violates the law, but but not as a part of the cabinet. Suppose say he is taking as part of cabinet. If he violates law, also it is not an issue. Policy is not, but individually, if he violates the law, then it becomes an issue. Bench reported further observed the cabinet can function if ministries are charged functionally with criminality, collective decision of the cabinet. See, bringing these political parties within the purview of this Prevention of Corruption Act, even the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, they have the far-reaching consequences. In country, we have political vendettas are there, political, where they want to take revenge against one among another. So this is a method of dealing this political adversary. Such an action would make political parties vulnerable. Therefore, what author says is the urgent need of the Supreme Court is to clarify the law in this regard and capability and culpability of this individual minister for cabinet decision. So basically, this article is slightly inclined towards opposition parties, but anyhow, so you can say the good point. There are many good points are there in this article. from the Indian Constitution point of view, right? Uh, Cabinet form of the government, even Prevention of Money Laundering Act has been discussed, Representation of People Act, even the Prevention of Corruption Act also discussed. So these things are very important, so you can consider. Article is about nutritional strategy. Recently, in Paris Olympic, Vinisha Phogat, one of the Olympic athlete from India, she almost reached the final area where even she wins means gold medal for India. She loses means silver medal for India. However, because of the slight overweight of 100 grams in 50 kg weight category, she lost the medal. She completely disqualified from the tournament. Now the petition has been put before court, Olympic court. So now the discussion is happening to give her bronze medal or not. But this area we need to discuss what is the nutritional strategy that need to be given to Olympic players, even athletics also, because players they go 4 years, 4 years continuous hard work, dedication, determination. During this time, they will go a lot of mental stress also. They have to continuously work hard. They have to stay motivated. So it's like most of the time it is said that is athletics is more tougher than even UPSC. UPSC you need to prepare for at least 2 years. But when it comes to athletics, you have to continuously prepare for 4 years. Even then also result is not guaranteed. On the day it depends upon the mood and many other factors, right? So UPSC you have several options, but athletics you have to get complete fund. There are many such issues are there. Being a woman in India, even these issues make even tougher situations to many of the people. This article discusses about many of the factors. Disqualification of Indian women wrestler Indian Vinisha Phogat from 50 kg category in Paris Olympics. This is a huge setback for India. She was found to be 100 grams heavier than permissible limits. This incident highlights the role of the support staff, including sports nutritionist, doctor, and team management in Indian contingent. This limited view indicates there is a slip. This situation highlights need to integrate our precision nutrition in sport. Nutrition is very very important. If you do 100% gym will not make you reduce the weight. Diet is very very important. You should make your diet in such a manner that then only the right weight reduction happens. The same way goes with sports persons also. Precision nutrition tailors this dietary recommendations based on specific individual requirements, their characteristics, and then their circumstances. This process focus on better understanding meeting athletes individual requirements, particularly individual response to different food supplement intakes, avoiding this one size fits for all. If you give one size, all the wrestlers need to take this diet, it doesn't work, because everyone body is different, their metabolism conditions are different. So one size fits all our approach you need to be avoided. The science of the precision nutrition involves this understanding the individual's metabolism, basically microbiome, and then how their body responds to food, in the even calorie expenditure. These all things determine how to make food practice for them. Like it focuses on the biology, multi-omics approach. This basically called genomics, and then proteomics, metabolics, when microbiomes and epigenetics. All these are biological terms. What you need to focus is just like nutritional related things. These things integrated with bioinformatics. Even nowadays we are more discussing about artificial intelligence and machine learning. When you put and when you integrate these things, they will give the evidence-based nutrition recommendations. If you follow correctly to them, because they will go 4 years continuous hard work. So during these 4 years, you can make a lot of trial and errors. You can come at optimum size, right? This data-driven approach, this allows for adjustment-based athlete psychological responses. It ensures them peak condition for competition. Integration with bioinformatics and even machine learning. This will help identification of the patterns, predict how different nutritional strategies affect athletes' performance. The gut microflora that will be influenced by diet. This is a plant-based diet and regular exercise. This results in production of short-chain fatty acids that result in athletic performance and post-exercise metabolic recovery. So basically, what author is telling is diet should be in such a way that by integrating machine learning, even artificial intelligence, these things. You continuously make this diet for almost 1 year, trial and error. Then you will get data informed research. So your body might be adjust to one area, and after that you continuously follow that. Then you develop the resilience, adaptability, and then you will go sure shot to Olympics. Olympics, you are completely ready, right? Even competitive sports also, Asian Games, whatever it may be. During that time also, your body it will cope up with all the challenges. Effective nutrition recommendation. This requires a high granularity. That means you need to understand individual dietary intake, even physical activity data in very deep manner. Traditional this questionnaire, interview based methods, collecting data. There are several drawbacks are there because it happens based on self-reporting. Person whoever is telling, he may not be knowing his health condition because he is not a doctor. There is a memory bias also. He will remember few things, he might be forgetting. Even high respondent burden, even socially desirable responses also, it changes from person to person. Women may feel difficult to answer few things. Combining this subjective information with targeted individual continuous monitoring, right? It can provide more specific individualized recommendation for athletes, not only address their dietary requirements, but also check regulatory requirements in the sport. Many wearable sensors they track and provide information on physical activity levels, stress, sleep quantity, even heart rate monitoring also. You might have seen several athletes, even Virat Kohli, he wears a special kind of watch during, when cricket match happens. One of interview, Virat Kohli also told that it helps him to maintain his how much sleep is needed, how much calorie intake he might be needed. All these things it dictates basically. So when you are going to such a huge area, when your performance is to that level, you should have that stamina basically, right? Incident with Miss Fogart, right? This underscores importance of continuous and real-time tracking of targeted outcomes for athletes during training sessions. Even it makes easier to achieve and then maintain the target weight also. Now, the condition comes because this continuous glucose monitoring is one area where people have like people with diabetes, they can be easily monitored the glucose responses, how much glucose is there in their food. These devices, continuous glucose monitoring, when implemented in subcutaneous layer, like just under your skin, it records blood glucose level minute by minute. The use of this continuous glucose monitoring devices, it can help monitor athletes blood glucose level in response to the food. Information collected can be used to individualize recommendations, like building muscles, boosting energy, reducing inflammation, maintaining body weight also. These are all the important parameters for athlete. Few players reportedly improved their sport performance using this continuous glucose monitoring devices. Olympic gold medal winning Australian swimmer, he retired, Lisa Hogges, admitted this continuous glucose monitoring device helped manage her fuel level, her and exertion during training session. Basically, she used this, CGM to monitor her health level. Even long distance runner Eliud Kipchoge of Kenya, he's a very famous marathons. He has been using this continuous glucose monitoring device since 2021 to build, personalized nutrition plan to give him competitive advantage. Right? Union Cycliste Internationale. This is a world governing body of cycling and then recognized for International Olympic Committee. They banned the use of CGM for heavy athletes during the competition, but these could potentially be used during training sessions to see how players respond to food. That's what they'll go for 4 years training. During 4 years, there is a lot of trial and error that can be followed. One area they are focusing more on hard work. However, other area, right, they might be focusing on dietary nutrition, but it also requires the special attention basically. Use of technology for personalized nutrition recommendation is still in early stages and requires further exploration. The need for such a personalized approaches become more apparent in weight-based sports, making weight is very crucial. In if you are going for weight-based, suppose say 50 kg, 53 kg, even 60 kg, whatever this criteria, so weight becomes very important. Even 100 grams also we have seen in Paris Olympic. So they disqualified her. She is totally qualifiable. She could have won gold medal for India, but we missed a chance. Athlete in these weight-based sports, boxing, wrestling, martial arts, they often struggle to maintain their designated weight class. So to do so, what we need to do? we need they resort to like extreme measures to reduce the weight. We have seen after a news article came several times that they don't take food, they starve themselves, even they don't take water also. This intentional dehydration happens, then sauna bath happens, even sweat shoots also they need to wear for reduce like to reduce the weight, and then continuous weight in weight out, this check-in happens continuously. These kind of drastic measures they become they jeopardize their mental health, physical health, and then adversely impact their performance. If you can't sleep one night, so next day you will be obviously continuously feeling tired, and then you will be sleeping obviously. So these reports indicate that Miss Fogata, she spent her entire night trying to shed this extra weight. Likewise, another Indian women wrestler, Antim Fungal, she also starved herself for 2 days to make weight. Basically, such instances severely impact capabilities of sports person in such high-level competitions. Study found that coaches and fellow players play influential role in deciding what dietary regimen works best for athlete during training and competition. Athletes need sport nutritionists trained in precision nutrition to monitor their nutritional requirement intake, even understand their body composition and metabolism. It would be like in everyone's best interests if nutritionists are assigned to different types of sports, because they become involved with athlete longer, allowing them to recommendations, even body responses to be tracked and tested over time. So this nutritionist, they should stay long with players. Even suppose a wrestling area, they can work with, suppose 20 players are there in wrestling area, so they can work with 20 player. However, not 20, they have to give different recommendation for 20 player. They can continuously involved there, so they can understand the people's body structure and all. These nutritionists, they must familiarize themselves with the rules of the sports, weight categories, even weighting procedures, method to reduce weight without compromising with athlete performance, even annual training also. This integrating precision nutrition into sports involves not only individualizing dietary plans but also continuously monitoring and adjusting them based on the athletic challenging needs. So, with this role for sports nutritionists, this approach can help to prevent drastic measures often resorted by athletes. Then it promotes healthier, more sustainable practice. In conclusion, disqualification of Miss Fogat underscores there is a critical gap in Indian sports system. Hard work is happening, but there is a deep gap between dietary requirement, even the hard work. This precision nutrition, data-driven approach to dietary planning. Precision nutrition is very important to prevent such setbacks and optimize athlete performance. By integrating this technology, expert nutritionist, India can revolutionize its sports training, ensure sports person reach their full potential while prioritizing their health and well-being. Basically, they will go 4 years in continuous struggle. So these things need to be considered at heavy level. Basically, this article is very, very important from several point of view. India in future want to host for Olympics also. Now Olympic medals slowly increasing, but this year our performance is low. But however, people came at fourth positions were very high. But if you give the right guidance and all, they will definitely proceed to another level. So it need to be see what could be done by Sports Authority of India, even Olympic Committee of India also. So next article here we'll discuss about uh, awards given to scientists, right? 33 scientists awarded with Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar. Government revamped this approach of independent India's long traditionally annually awarding scientists with promise. Those scientists who have made impact in Indian landscape, they will be given this Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar. Every year it happens. Earlier there was Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Awards SSB. It was awarded to scientists under 45 by Council of Scientific Research and Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. This compromised a certificate, even cash prize, and some additional monetary benefits. This Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar replaces this Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar with a medal certificate, and then it renames Vignan Yuva SSB. There are other Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar awards, Vigyan Sri, Vigyan Ratna, even Vigyan Team awards also. All these things will be scientists over 45 who have made distinguished contribution in science and technology over entire career as well. As for team scientists, technologists, even those who have made exceptional contribution. Total number of awards it is capped at 56. Though this year selected, they were lesser than 33 only selected, so they were lesser than whatever the ceiling is capped. So the team award this time is conferred to Indian Space Research Organization ISRO. Why? You might be knowing. So Chandrayaan team landed successfully on the moon with a rover. This is like certainly over 3 members. These may be technicalities like first edition of the prizes. There could be transition also. List of awardees, they come from wide range of fields from astrophysics, agriculture, even this is not unique to Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar. Awardees are they are overwhelmingly from centrally funded, even most elite India's scientific research institution. IITs they have good funds. They are institutes of integrity. Even Indian Institute of Science and Educational Research, CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, even Atomic Energy Institution. These are good institutions. They have their own money, but government could have selected someone from other area where they are struggling with cutting edge technologies, even funds also. These RVP awards were instituted by Ministry of Home Affairs and then heads the science departments concluded in 2022. There were too many awards being given out to individual scientific departments, and it was necessary to trim them and raise the stature of national awards basically. So this was the intention. There were too many awards were giving, and then Home Ministry brought up with this RVP awards, and then they brought in 2022. It is true that we need to distinguish them, the scientists. There are several scientists, they received Padma Awards in other fields. The schema of these scientific awards are basically to encourage them to stick to research. Their outcomes, may not be immediately tangible, but outcome cannot be immediately measured in the scientific area. Much like these Olympic medals, Nobel Prize continue to interest many of the Indian scientists, and then it has become a touchy topic for many of the governments. The national awards are not substitute or catalyst for these Nobel Prizes, but government should not assume that scientists only crave for honor and recognition. Too many scientists in India, they have labor with minimal funds, they have substandard equipment and discouraging milieu also. Even it forces them to compel with like cutting edge research with hands tied. Basically, they don't have fund, they don't have laboratory equipment, they don't have like see even in ISRO case also for man-made mission we have to work with USA, even Russia, because we don't have such a technology, sir. There are such things are happening. Even if we go to local colleges, even Indian Agricultural Research Institute, there also they don't have like government is spending good, but research is not happening at the same level. So this is the area where government should focus. We need what other states is increase the budgetary allocation, make scientific research more rewarding in India. This will give greater service to science than just giving the awards. That's what author says about. Thank you very much for today's discussion.